Tonyo, not his real name, fears for his life. But he tells CNN Philippines it's better for the truth to come out in the open. For security reasons, we cannot divulge Tonyo's identity. Tonyo is a main witness of the Manila Police District in the Horacio Castillo hazing case. He saw 3 men carrying the law student's lifeless body out of the Aegis Juris Fraternity Library on the morning of September 17. He did not name the 3 but identified them in a gallery of pictures of Aegis Juris members shown to him by CNN Philippines. These are John Paul Solano, the frat member who says he tried to revive Castillo, Min Wei Chan, the fraternity's vice president, and Mark Anthony Ventura, the secretary.
Nung mapansin ko yung 3 kalalakihan sa loob ng Aegis, may buwat-buwat na taong nakabalot ng dirty white na kumot at isinakay sa pickup na pula.
Tonyo also identified the red pickup that brought Castillo to the Chinese General Hospital and the motorcycle that Solano drove to guide the pickup to the hospital.
Yung pickup na pula, nandun yung single na motor, nakatutok sa pickup na pula. Sumakay yung isang lalaki na naka-stripe, may katabaan, kutelyo, at nung umandar ang pickup na pula, sumunod siya. Ang direksyon nila, Laon-Laan to Dimasalang.
Solano earlier said he spotted Castillo's body on a street corner in Tondo, Manila. He later retracted the statement. When he saw the news on the incident on television the following day, Tonyo knew Solano was lying.
Kaya sinungaling to. Nadaanan niya sa Impanta Juan Luna. Kako, layo nun ah. Impanta Juan Luna. Lumakay kong Tondo, alam ko Impanta.
Tonyo has submitted an affidavit to the MPD. It will be used to strengthen the Castillo family's case against the suspects. He says he is sure about his testimony.
Sa akin talagang witness ako. Pangangatawanan ko yung nakita ko. Bahala na yung poong may kapal kung ano mangyayari sa akin.
Rex Remitio, CNN Philippines.
The Department of Homeland Security is ready to assist in the deportation of Aegis Juris fraternity member Ralph Tanguia and his mother Rosemary. Tanguia is one of the main suspects in Horacio Acho Castillo's death. The mother faces obstruction of justice charges for helping him leave. Justice Secretary Vitaliano Aguirre says Acho's uncle sought the help of President Duterte to cancel the Tanguia's passports. The president then asked the DFA to make representations with the U.S. Secretary of State on what can be done for the Tanguias' return to the country. The Tanguias flew to the U.S. a day before an immigration lookout order was issued against them.
Nagparamdam na ang Department of Homeland Security kung gusto raw ng Pilipinas any help for the return of Tranja.
The Philippine National Police is reacting to a social weather station survey that says 9 out of 10 Filipinos want drug suspects alive. The survey taken last June 23 to 26 shows 90% of respondents believe it's important that drug suspects are kept alive. The SWS also says over 70% are worried they would become victims of extrajudicial killings. But the PNP says there are no extrajudicial killings in the country. PNP spokesperson Jonardo Carlos says, and we quote, "The possibility of becoming a victim of EJK is very remote if we based it on facts and not on impression or perception," end of quote. Human rights groups estimate drug-related killings are at 7,000 to 13,000. Carlos also says over 100,000 drug offenders that the PNP caught since last year are in fact alive and facing charges. He agrees, though, with the SWS result that most Filipinos believe the administration is serious in solving the EJK problem. President Duterte denies claims only the poor are targeted in the government's war on drugs. In fact, he says he defends them. The president explains the drug trade is organized crime and the main market of shabu is the poor. Here's the president in his own words.
It's really the poor who are hard hit. Seldom if you... Itong mga mayaman sa Pilipinas, heroin pati cocaine, and the ecstasy drugs. And they can buy it, they can use it because they have exclusive houses, and they stay in buildings that are secured. Pero itong mga mahirap, they are the most vulnerable ones. Kaya akala nila kinakalaban ko sila, look, kayong mga mahirap na Pilipino, tinataya ko yung buhay ko para sa inyo, even when I was mayor.
Global news now. Federal officials in the United States revealed charges against 3 men allegedly behind a foiled terror attack in New York City in 2016. Among them, a 37-year-old Filipino, Rosel Salik. He planned the attack together with Canadian Abdulrahman El Banasawi and American Talha Harun. The three supposedly planned to bomb Times Square, the subway station, and concert venues in the name of ISIS. Salik allegedly wired money from the Philippines. El Banasawi bought the bomb-making materials and Harun talked to explosive experts. But authorities thwarted the plot. Salik was arrested in the Philippines in 2017. Proceedings to extradite him to the U.S. are ongoing. He is facing several charges, among them conspiracy to use weapons of mass destruction and conspiracy to commit acts of terrorism transcending national boundaries. If proven, he will be jailed for life. CNN Philippines is trying to get more details from local law enforcement authorities. We'll give you more updates on this story as they become available. Government troops continue to advance towards the remaining positions of terrorists in Marawi City. One of their challenges, clearing the tunnels the Maute fighters built underneath to hide and move around the city undetected. Here's George Cahiles with that story.
This video recovered from Maute ISIS fighters shows the tunnels within the compound of Bato Ali Mosque at the heart of the main battle area of Marawi. Our tour guide goes down the tunnel using a ladder. The person shooting his video sounds like a woman. The tunnel is big enough to allow them walk freely inside. You may see the filth, but our guides do not mind until they reach the end of tunnel. The cameraman gives us a glimpse of the road and structures outside the tunnel before entering another one. The military says Maute fighters dug those tunnels and connected it to the basements of buildings and drainage systems of the city to allow them to move easily from one place to another.
While they transfer from one building to another, they're able to seek cover because of the tunnels. Yung mga tunnels na nadaanan na po natin, we have secured them, but we believe that there are more of this. Mas marami pa hong tunnels ngayon na kung saan sila nagtatago.
Accounts of rescued hostages say they were kept in one of those tunnels. That's why government troops had a hard time rescuing them. Since the military have yet to clear all the tunnels, the danger could be underground, where the less than 50 Maute fighters could be hiding. But during the liberation of Batu Ali Mosque a week ago, around 15 bodies were recovered from the area. They were buried on Thursday together with 25 others.
Based po sa information na nakuha namin sa ating mga kasama sa Soko, wala pong identify sa kanila. But most of them were believed to be members of the Maute ISIS group.
The local government says some of those bodies could be of foreign fighters, but they still need to wait for the result of DNA tests to confirm this. From Marawi City, George Cahiles, CNN Philippines.
A Korean star is coming to Manila for a benefit concert for war-torn Marawi. Rain, touted as the king of K-pop, will headline the concert entitled Rise to Shine. Proceeds will go to victims of the crisis and 2 NGOs. The event will be held on November 3rd at the Smart Araneta Coliseum. Actress Deborah Messing gets her own star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. She's best known for her role as designer Grace Adler on the hit series Will and Grace. She tells the crowd this is a dream come true for her.
I wanted to be an actress. I dreamt of going to New York and performing on Broadway. While most people humored me, relegating my dream to a childhood hobby, my mom never questioned that I would fulfill my dream.
Fans of John Lloyd Cruz, listen up. ABS-CBN announces the actor is taking a break from show business. In a statement, the network says John Lloyd will take an indefinite leave of absence to attend to personal matters. The actor will be out of the country. Lately, all eyes have been on John Lloyd after controversial photos of him and co-star Ellen Adarna went viral. The photos left people wondering if the two are a couple. When the newsroom returns, netizens welcome TV host Joey De Leon's apology after his controversial comments on depression. And we tell you the government's plans to ease traffic during the holiday season. Back after a quick break, keep it here on CNN Philippines. You're in the newsroom on CNN Philippines. Welcome back. Authorities are finding out why a water tank in San Jose del Monte, Bulacan exploded yesterday. San Jose Water's general manager for operations says for now, they're focusing on giving financial assistance to the victims.
Lahat po ng tulong pinansyal doon sa mga ospital, sasagutin po namin yun doon po sa mga nasawi dito sa kasamang palad. Sasagutin po namin din po yun, tawag dito. At basta po may mga tao na po kami sumunod, dinahanap po namin lahat po na naapektuhan. Pinapuntahan namin halos karamihan po ng ospital na sinasabi pinagdalahan. At may mga tao po kami nakasunod at nakantabay sa kanila.
Over 60 houses were washed out in the explosion. 4 residents, including 2 babies, were killed. 44 others were injured, 2 in critical condition. This is 1-year-old Jaina Espina. She died while sleeping beside her parents in their house 10 meters away from the water tank.
Kung bumangon di ko magawa eh. Kasi ang laking pader na sa likod ko. Di ako makakalaw. Sana nga ako na lang nawala eh. Di ko anak ko eh.
Ako po tumayo ko kasi may sumabog po. Pagtayo ko po, bigla pong may umano sa akin hanggang yung pader po, pumagsak na sa akin. Kaya hindi na ako nakatayo. Lumubog na po kami.
The water tank contained 2,000 cubic meters or more than 9,000 drums of water, enough to supply 10,000 households. TV host Joey De Leon speaks up after getting bashed online for his remarks trivializing depression. He earlier described depression as, quote, gawa-gawa lang. De Leon issued a public apology on Eat Bulaga yesterday, explaining he didn't know the extent of the mental problem and confused it with stress. He ended with, quote, humihingi po ako ng kapatawaran sa mga nasaktan at nagalit. I'm sorry. The health department says those who suffer from depression also have loss of appetite, insomnia, and fatigue. They go through mental anguish, and if left untreated, it can lead to suicide. Some netizens welcome Joey De Leon's apology. The comedian is still among the top trending topics on Twitter today. At Lurking Iska says, quote, mistakes were admitted, faults were addressed. Let's now spare Joey De Leon from online bullying. Let's spare him from causes of depression. Merla says that was the sincerest Joey De Leon she's seen so far, while Mont Vertusio says he wanted to hug Maine Mendoza for her bravery and hug Joey De Leon for his humility. Maine took a stand after Joey's comments saying depression is no laughing matter. To ease traffic this holiday season, malls along EDSA are once again opening an hour later than usual. Following consultations with the MMDA, mall operators agreed to open at 11 a.m. and close at midnight starting October 15th. Mall suppliers were also given the 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. window to deliver their goods and merchandise. By November, sales are only allowed on Saturdays and Sundays. These adjusted mall hours were also implemented in 2016. Operators don't see any significant negative impact on their sales.
Bare months naman talaga really peak season. People will adjust. So once we announce this as early as possible, people will be able to be informed and they will adjust the schedule.
Riding the MRT is always a challenge, as others would say. The struggle is real. Now, to ease the pain, here's our very own James Deacon to give you tips on how to make your MRT trip bearable.
Invest in the Beep card. Not only will this save you time from lining up to buy a ticket for the MRT, but to the LRT1, LRT2, and P2P buses as well. Another tip, load after you alight the train when going home. Fewer people line up to reload their cards during this time. People usually line up for the first or last coaches. To give yourself some breathing space, walk some more and bring yourself to the middle coach where it's usually the most humane. After the railway gods blessed you and allowed you to enter a coach, go immediately to the middle part of the train. Do not stay on the doorway or, the next thing you know, the huge wave of zombies, or passengers should I say, are flushing you out of the train. You might even be a victim of pickpockets. Bring a hanky or a mask. This will serve as your armor against a passenger who forgot to roll on some deodorant or spray some cologne. Plug your earphones and listen to calming tunes or podcasts. This will enhance the feeling of having your own sacred personal space, even though you're face-to-face against another passenger. Make your voice be heard. Literally, say something if you're already being squished against the train door, because other passengers can't seem to wait for another train to come, making you a 3D human to a 2D one. Besides, you don't want to end up fainting. Speaking of fainting, you know yourself too well that crowded spaces might just cause you to just zone out and lose consciousness. Be a certified tita or tito by bringing mints or scents that can bring you your senses in no time. It's usually the MRT going southbound that is jam-packed, as jam-packed as the sulit-packed sardines. So if it's a hopeless case, ride a northbound train and wait for it to turn to its last stop, and voila, it now goes southbound, just like that. You do not need to just score a seat. You might even end up sitting beside the soulmate you've been searching for your whole life. From lining up to actually entering the train to riding it to alighting it, the struggle is definitely so real. Remember these tips so you enter an average human and go out as a certified MRT warrior.
Still ahead, Barangay Ginebra is one step closer to the PBA Governors Cup Finals. We have highlights of Game 3 of their semis match. And it was a night Jake Zyrus can never forget. He sings with his old self, Charisse. This is Newsroom Weekend on CNN Philippines. Stay tuned. Hello to our viewers again on Facebook. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Marami pong bumabati sa atin, no? Thank you, ha. Binabasa ko yung mga greetings nyo. And first of all, I'd like to say hi to our producers. Two of our producers are watching, Joseph Cataan and Tristan Nodalo. And also, Anjo Alemario is watching. May update po tayo from Anjo Alemario after this break.
Mic test.
May balita siya tungkol doon sa complainant ng impeachment complaint against Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno. Tatawagan po natin si Anjo pagkatapos ng break na to. Also, the latest in sports coming up, and doon sa upcoming concert ni Martin Nievera to celebrate his 35 years in the industry. At pinapag-usapan ng marami the concert of Jake Zyrus, formerly known as Charisse. Abangan niyo po yan. Ngayon, may mga babatiin po tayo. Si Lucy Alarcon. She says, watching from New York City. Hello to you. Margie Cobillas, watching from Turkey. Nati Reyes, watching from Milan, Italy. Gloria Martin, watching from London. And Jonathan Husto says, good morning, watching from Norway. Maraming salamat for joining us here on Facebook Live. Don't forget, for more stories, may website po kami sa cnnphilippines.com. Tingnan nyo lang po yung website para sa mga latest na balita, and follow us on social media at CNN Philippines, of course. I hope you stay tuned. The newsroom's back with more stories. Attorney Larry Gadon has a new proposal in the impeachment case against Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno. Our Anjo Alemario is in Quezon City. Anjo, tell us more about Gadon's proposal.
That's right. My attorney Larry Gadon says he'll file a motion to Congress to allow President Duterte to serve as a special prosecutor in the impeachment complaint against Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno. Now, this stems from the President's pronouncement that he wants to file an impeachment complaint against Sereno and Ombudsman Conchita Carpio Morales. Now, Gadon explains there's no law barring President Duterte to participate in a political exercise, but congressmen are not keen on the idea. Now, Surigao del Sur Representative Prosper Pichay says only House members may be in the prosecution panel, and to get someone from the executive branch would violate the separation of the executive and the legislative branches of government. And House Deputy Speaker Ferdinand Castro explains, under the Constitution, prosecutors should only come from the members of the House, which means they cannot appoint anyone from the executive unless, Castro points out, the Constitution is amended. Now, bagong henerasyon, Representative Bernadette Herrera dismisses the move, saying it's putting unnecessary burden on the President. Mai?
Thank you, Anjo Alemario reporting. In sports, the Meralco Bolts dominate the Star Hotshots to head back to the finals of the PBA Governor's Cup. Our sports desk anchor, Andre Felix, has more.
That's right, Mai. The Meralco Bolts are getting another crack at their first PBA title. They take the first seat in the Governor's Cup Finals after completing a 3-game sweep of the Star Hotshots in the semis. Redemption has been Meralco's mission from the start after they lost to Barangay Ginebra in the Governor's Cup Finals last year. Back in July, Meralco's Alan Durham told me that the Bolts are locked in to bounce back.
Just the way that it ended last season, it was definitely a heartbreaker. But I know what we're trying to build and what we're building at Meralco is something that's bigger than me, bigger than new, and I'm just trying to keep it going. And when they wanted me to come back, I was excited to kind of finish where we left off at, and that's where we're trying to pick it up. I feel good about this conference, and I really like our chances. And I don't know, I'm just gonna let the people talk, and we just gonna play and see what happens on the court.
We have more of the week's top sports stories on Sports Desk Weekend. I'm Andre Felix. Mai, back to you.
Over at the other PBA semi-series, Barangay Ginebra retakes the lead over TNT Katropa to inch its way closer to the finals. The heated Game 3 match ended with a score of 106-103. Joe Devans paced Ginebra in scoring with 20 points, while Scotty Thompson posted a double-double, 17 markers and 12 boards. Katropa import Glenn Rice led all scorers with a whopping 44 points and 20 rebounds, but to no avail. Ginebra now leads the best-of-5 series 2-1. Game 4 happens tomorrow at the Smart Araneta Coliseum. If Ginebra wins, it will forge a finals rematch with Meralco. But if it loses, there will be a do-or-die Game 5 next week. Transgender Jake Zyrus conquers the stage yet again. And yes, the duet with his old self really happened. Our Tristan Nodalo was there to witness it all.
Show-stopping performance, heartfelt songs, and powerful renditions of past and current hits. He rocks the center stage in his first ever concert as Jake Zyrus.
To be honest, ito yung dream concert ko.
Despite the distinct change in his voice quality and range, Jake Zyrus goes all out to prove that he deserves a spot in the music industry. Supporters cheer in his every number, and even veteran singers like Eric Santos couldn't help but be amazed.
Sobrang ganda talaga ng boses niya, and for me, world class talaga siya.
Of course, we want to support Jake Zyrus. Good luck sa concert mo!
For Jake Zyrus, this concert may not be the biggest but could turn out to be the most memorable one. A realization of a long-time dream, performing on a stage, singing the songs that he's comfortable with, and feeling the love and support of those people who never left his side. And then it happened. Jake Zyrus sings with Charisse.
Kung ako nga, proud ako sa kanya na sa lahat ng pinagdaanan niya, sa lahat ng struggles na pinagdaanan niya, na nalagpasan niya lahat ng yun. Then I'm sure kung if she was really like a different person, then yes, I know she'd be really proud.
His past and present on one stage, united by the love for music. Tristan Nodalo, CNN Philippines.
That's what's happening in